Hello everyone, I'm Eriris. Today I'm going to talk about One Piece. I'm going to discuss One Piece manga chapter 1075 today. First, let's recap what happened in this chapter. Shaka tries to contact Pythagoras but receives no response, then notices someone's shadow on the monitor. However, the owner of that shadow destroys all Den Den Mushi in the blink of an eye. Luffy notices that the sounds in his headphones have gone and asks Shaka if there is a problem. On the next page, we see those who went to the laboratory to look for Stella. The Straw Hat crew and Vegapunks are divided into 4 different groups. Group 1, Edison, Brook, and Nami. Nami finds a treasure, human-made diamonds. Group 2, Chopper, Robin, and Atlas. After seeing human-made organs, Robin makes one of his typically depressing comments, stating her worry that Vegapunk was disintegrated. We see Luffy and Shaka again. Shaka explains to Luffy that there was someone else in the lab since the cameras started to turn off one by one. Then, we see groups 3 and 4. Group 3, Sanji, Jinbe, and Stussy. They are walking through area where weapons are made. Group 4, Usopp, Frankie, Lilith, and York. They arrive at the scene of Pythagoras' assault. We learn that Pythagoras managed to separate his head from his body just in time to survive the explosion. York notices Seraphim Boa Hancock nearby and approaches him to caress him. Seraphim Boa Hancock turns York to stone. Then, Seraphim Boa Hancock attacks the remainder of the group and forcing them to escape by jumping downstairs. We return to the control room on the following page. Seraphim Kuma and Seraphim Mihawk, according to Zoro, targeted CPO agents. Even if Shaka orders them to stop, they don't. Shaka claims that because they ignored his orders, another Vegapunk gave them orders, and someone is attempting to kill them. When Lucci and Kaku wake, they tell Zoro and Luffy that the only way out of this situation is for them to temporarily team up to fight the Seraphim. This is the chapter's quick summary. There are a few things in specifically that I want to bring up and talk about. With this chapter, it is obvious that there is a traitor among the Vegapunks. Which Vegapunk traitor, though? I'll be honest, at first I thought it was Shaka. Shaka, I think, is the only Vegapunk who is capable of planning a betrayal. Others seem to me to be more naive, but I'm not sure. But would he put himself in danger by ordering them to attack him? The traitor might have attacked himself on purpose to get away from the suspects if traitor had planned his actions so thoroughly. Shaka is not the only person being attacked, though. We can say the same for the other Vegapunks who were attacked. So, I cannot genuinely claim that this individual is the traitor. In your opinion, who is the traitor? And why did the traitor decide to betray? Because of her loyalty to the world government? But Zoro said Seraphims chose to target CPO agents. If she betrayed the Vegapunk due of her loyalty to the world government, why would they attack CPO agents? Traitored probably rather release them free and collaborate with them. Currently, the release of the CPO agents is under consideration, but did the traitor plan it all the way to this point? Another important issue is what happened to Stella. Could he have killed the traitor? So, what did you think of the chapter? Please share your views with me in the comments.